There are thousands of strange things. The bus is 10,000. How rare is today's issue? How high-end? Follow the video to watch. See this scene? Does it look like the backyard of our old rural home? Red brick factory. Can't say it's a roadside stall. It can also be called an underground den. No one checks environmental protection here. No one checked the fire. So if you build a factory here in Batie, that was outrageous. At the beginning of the video, in fact, we have already seen the finished product. It's a small, solid tire. The use of this tire is also very extensive. Some are mounted on strollers. It's installed on that kind of trolley inside. The materials used to make these used tires, it's these ragged junk. A large part of these junk items are carriage returns. Waste rubber. Of course, there are also some nylon materials. Now this old Pakistani gentleman, the protection is still relatively in place. After all, you can see people wearing masks here. It's really not easy. This protection is still very good. But the filling of the feed to this machine, the protection is a bit less than satisfactory. If you don't get it right, if you stick your hand in, then you can really retire early. In this case, that's the crushed material. In fact, this situation can also be seen in China. I'm talking about now, but it's definitely not before. Especially for recycling used tires. And of course it's bigger than this. Daily repetition of work is similar to this. That is, to redo the used tires and smash them, with that injection molding machine. Remake some other finished products. Look carefully, this material is still very fine when crushed. Then a young Pakistani brother. Put these scraps. Put it in a blender in such a small bottle. So it's called a blender. It's because of the ruler in the middle, plus a protective upper cover at the top. The scraps are here, mix and stir thoroughly. Of course when mixing, need to mix other additives. This time, I didn't make any additions. Do the first stirring first. I feel that the internal temperature will not be very low at this moment. Continue to fill here. The thing added now is likely to be water. To be honest, I don't know much about the specific material. I personally feel that it should be water. The monk covers the cover and continues to stir. The internal movement is still very large. Based on this situation, it is estimated that it will be stirred for a while. It doesn't seem to be full yet. Keep adding blends. This thing should be the color. I personally feel it should be the color of the palette. The scrap that was smashed before must be colorful. All kinds of materials are available. Add this black paint. Mix it together. It turns black directly. If you make tires later, directly black, there is no need to directly adjust the color. In this case, it should be stirred well. Every step is a process. After stirring, you need to move on to the next tool. First, pour out the material inside the roller. Sometimes this situation is really unimaginable. In the functional process, suddenly a little spark appears. Then this factory is probably finished. This is the third step of driving. What about this machine? I saw it a lot when I was a kid. That's what our neighbors do. It should be called a high-temperature injection molding machine. It's a long tube. Drive with motor. The front is a gear reducer. At the back is a pipe. At the bottom is a shelf. Sometimes it burns back and forth with fire. Afraid that the temperature is not enough, as long as these waste materials. After the material is in, and you squeeze a hot paste out the other end. Like an object, then make various lanterns. And other plastic processing products. What's different about this is that it's made, not a handicraft. It's a tire. It's just that the molds are different. This position belongs to the mold to interface. The hot draft is pressed from the inside. Fill into the mold. After being naturally cooled, a solid tire takes shape. The abrasives aren't that big. If you do the tires, it must be the same car. Or rather, it's one of those small trolleys. Solid tires. Small tires can also be replaced normally. Big tires, it is necessary to use special tools. The whole factory is not big. Side high temperature accommodation, smash on the other side. In fact, compared to other factories, it has an advantage. Local factories in Pakistan are generally, most of it is open air. At least it's not open air above. There's ventilation on all sides. At least the air in the factory building is still good. So these are the finished products. Thankfully there is no e-commerce here in Pakistan, in case there is one day. It is estimated that all piers will go out of business. After all, people's raw materials are everywhere. Basically no money. Okay, that's the end of today's video. If you like it, click on it. See you next time.